So how do you practice witchcraft? In traditional terms, the arts of the witch include divination, magic, or spellcrafting, and healing, which is sometimes different from magic from our ancestors. Along the way, many witches gain skills in planning and leading rituals, teaching group leadership, creating beautiful art, and more. Divination is the art of foreseeing trends and discovering hidden knowledge using tools such as the tarot, runestones, a pendulum, or scrying mirror. With such tools and sufficient training and practice, we can learn more about ourselves and the future that is appearing on a mundane level. Magic itself has many definitions which will be described later on the modules. For now, it's enough to say that magic is a powerful tool for changing yourself and the world. Not every witch considers herself or himself to be a healer, though all of us do healing magic occasionally. As you know, healing magic, such as in some movies, has been shown as when in the past the village wise woman was often the midwife and herbalist too, and the local cunning man could usually mix a healing potion or set a broken bone. Today many witches, such as myself, have healing specialties within the mainstream, such as doctors, nurses, medical technicians, or outside it, such as herbalists, Reiki practitioners, crystal energy workers, and others. Part of becoming a witch is discovering your aptitudes and developing your particular esoteric skills. Whether it's a healer, weather worker, a spell worker, dowser, shapeshifter, or any dozens of special disciplines. The craft is a spiritual path. We said that witchcraft is often called Wicca when we're referring to the spiritual path. Wicca is the religion, and like almost all faiths, it includes deities. Now, if you grew up in a family that had one god, and he was an old guy with a long white beard who was out there somewhere, then you're in for a surprise. Here are the basic things you need to know about Wicca and deities. First, deity is immanent in Wicca. It's not out there somewhere, above and beyond the world we live in. Deity is actively involved in the world, because it permeates all people and all things. In Wicca, God is not pure spirit, but spirit embodied and expressed through matter, through us, among other things, and we mean all other things. A common saying in Wicca is, "Thou art goddess," or "Thou art God." When a witch says this, they don't mean that you are the creator and source of all things, but that you are an integral part of the creator, maybe one neuron in God's brain, for example. You're not just created by deity, you're part of deity, you're sacred. Second, deity can be understood as either masculine or feminine or both, goddess as well as God. To say that God is only male would be as wrong as saying that only daylight hours count as real, never nighttime hours. All things are part of the divine, and that includes both sexes. Third, all gods and goddesses of all religions are real in the sense that they reflect some true aspect or part of divinity. Do you want a glimpse of the divine? Well, you can just look at Yahweh and read the Bible, but you can also read the stories and myths of Isis, Apollo, Diana, Changing Woman, Thor, or any thousands of other deities worshipped by anybody. No single one of these can give you a full understanding of the original creator and source. That would be a lot to ask. But any of them can teach you something about divinity. Do you think that God is love? Then you just need to spend some quality time with Aphrodite, the Greek goddess, who knows a lot about love. Is God justice? Talk to Themis. Is God power? Meditate with Zeus. Is God truth? The Egyptian goddess Mata can tell you a thing or two, and so on. So are there really many gods and goddesses? Yes. Or just one? Yes. There is a saying that sums it up. All gods are one god. All goddesses are one goddess. God and goddesses are one. One way of looking at this is to imagine a disco ball, a sphere made up of many small mirrors, each of which reflects a little bit of reality. In this analogy, every little mirror or facet is one name aspect of deity: Diana, Apollo, Isis, Baba Yaga, etc. And together they compose the whole, the one. Now, not all Wiccans, you understand, agree with this all-in-one view. Some are monotheistic, such as myself, working with one aspect of the deity exclusively, or some work only with one pantheon of gods. That rings bell to their ancestors. I know in my case, the Celtic or Norse ring the bell more just because of my ancestry. The two favorite deities in Wicca are the Lady of the Moon, Maiden, Mother and Crone, and the Horn God of the Wild. But it's okay for any Wiccan to work with as many or as few aspects of deity as they wish. So are deities really symbols or archetypes, or do they have an independent existence? Can they hear our prayers and intervene in our lives? Are they sentient or individual beings? Again, the answer is yes. You ask 10 witches, you will get at least 13 viewpoints. Some witches believe that the deities have evolved to be independent living entities. Some think they're always that way. Some see them as a powerful symbol. Some prefer the broader goddess and god and work very little with more specialized deities. Some work with Mother Earth and Father Sun, and so on. Wicca is very diverse. There is no sect dogma or set of beliefs standard to all. Every religion has some central theme or goal, and Wicca is no exception. A Buddhist might say her goal is to release attachment and end suffering for herself and all other beings. Christians might want to achieve salvation, witness for their faith, and spend eternity in heaven after they die. A follower of the Sadhguru might say his goal is to live and die with honor, and then feast with his fathers in the halls of Hecate, Valhalla, or Folkvanga. Most witches will probably say that their aim is to live in harmony with nature and to become more like the goddess and the god, that is, grow in wisdom, love, and power through life after life, resting between lives in the Summerland. Do you see the pictures of the goddess that we have in front of here in the slide? This is Hecate or Hecate. It is an ancient goddess, all before the Olympian pantheon came to Greece. Her origins may lie in Turkey, Thrace, or even Egypt. She came to be known as the Queen of Witches, the goddess of wisdom, magic, night, and the crossroads. Black hounds were sacred to her, and folklore has tales of giant black dogs with glowing eyes appearing to travelers on dark, lonely roads. Sometimes these hounds were fierce and threatening, but just as often they seem friendly and might even guide the lost to safety. In the next module, we're going to learn about the meaning of the pentagram, the universe according to Wicca, and some of the common and core beliefs of Wicca. I'll see you then.